Hola.
They don't love me like I love you. So now, then I love you.
Okay, I have the timer
I feel
ready.
like that should be that said more than enough. I feel like all of us breaking into one song should tell us exactly what we need to know about that. About
That
how the
is
fuck
true.
this is about
But
to
also,
go.
Eric and I have to shut the
you'll
fuck
have
up
your
'cause then showed
time.
our bias.
You'll
Yeah,
have
we
your
did not
time.
have your time.
I have the timer ready, Courtney. I'm ready whenever you are.
All right. Okay. Beyonce team. Timer starts when I finish the question. Whose art was influenced more by the other? Beyonce's team starts now.
Jay-Z, 100%. I'm going to take this one over because there is. Sorry, Chess. I just want to dive into this really quickly.
You got it. You got it.
That it's very important to acknowledge that critical success, one is contingent on the other. Beyonce opened up Jay-Z to an entirely new demographic of people who he would have not had access to if it was not for her. She was known by everyone who knows Jay-Z. Jay-Z was not known by everyone who knew Beyonce until Beyonce put him on.
Ooh.
Chess, take it over from here.
Mind you, I mean, we also have to note that even on to your point, right? Like, we have to note that Beyonce, every time she performs with Jay-Z, she is checking him up and down for fucking up. Like, period. If you ever see, like, he will come in missing lyrics, rapping the
Time
wrong
is
parts.
up. Time is up. That was a quick one. We have a rebuttal coming in from Team Jay-Z. Your time starts now.
Yeah, I would say it was Jay-Z because you're saying, like, what was the question again? You said it impacted
Who's
musical
Art, yeah.
Well, I mean, to me, art is about who makes the most money nowadays. So I mean, Jay-Z put her on business moves. Like, art is all about numbers, right? That's what was your first week sales? How was the sales? What was the numbers, right? Jay-Z put her on some money plays. She's speaking that language, Billy's. J. Hove put her on that. She was just doing her thing. He said, got in her ear, hey, get rid of Kelly and Michelle. Michelle falling off stage at 106 Park. You looking stupid. You looking dumb. You looking dumb. Come roll with the GOAT. So, yeah, let's say Hove.
And you have to let him know, look, time to go solo, baby. You don't need...
45 seconds is up.
Kevin, we will come back to you.
We will come back. You'll get another chance. But right now we're going back.
Beyonce,
your time starts now.
On the sales tip, let me just hop in about the revenue, okay? So if we're gonna talk about money, let's talk about that whack-ass 444 tour that Jay-Z went on that only brought in $48 million, right? Let's also talk about that in comparison to Formation Tour, which brought in $256 million, okay?
Wow.
Now, if we want to run the double numbers, on the Run Tour only brought in $250 million, and they did that together. So performing with Jay-Z actually took Beyonce's value down $6 million.
And also to get into that point,
okay, what's up?
Every record that's blown up from them has been, the biggest songs have been Beyonce featuring Jay-Z.
Period.
Jay-Z featuring Beyonce has never been as big of a
Ever.
hit.
That is time.
Beyonce.
That is your time. We are going back one more time to Team Jay-Z. And your time starts now for your final rebuttal.
What is he worth? $1.34 billion? It don't even matter. That man be pulling.
That's not all from
much
music.
money.
That's not all from music.
It's Jay-Z's turn.
It's Jay-Z's team.
turn.
It's Jay-Z's team.
Music is everything these days, and that's what Jay-Z has taught the entire community of artists. I mean, they all talk about it now, that it's not just about making music from your record sales. Matter of fact, nobody makes money.
If it wasn't for Rockaware, it wouldn't be no Ivy Park, sir.
Period.
She made $250 million off that. How much has she made? We're not there yet. She ain't up there yet.
All right.
We
ended early.
You had 2 seconds to spare,
It's
and
all
that
good.
time is up. So now we have a little bit of a free-for-all round. We're going to do the exact same amount of time. You guys got this. We believe in you. Make your points. Your time for all of you starts.
Is it still the same
now.
question though?
Same question,
yeah.
but now you can.
Okay.
Now it's everyone's turn to talk. You can talk to each other.
I started off. Did
Okay,
Beyonce bag? Did Beyonce bag Jay-Z or did Jay-Z bag her? Let's be clear.
Okay, so
let's be clear.
Did who bag who? See, that sounds
Who got bagged?
That sounds a little gendered of a question. Let me tell you this,
I'm gonna move
okay?
past that. We're gonna move past
We're
that.
gonna pass that because Jay-Z's old ass he's about to kill over.
He bagged her though. Y'all
Beyonce
ragging
got
on the man
Beyonce
that
got
bagged the
12
girl that
years
y'all
on
praising.
Jay-Z.
Y'all
Let alone-
praising her, but he
Let
bagged
me
her.
just say this: in digital sales, Beyonce has done 26 million. Jay-Z has done 17 million. Jay-Z's music right now without Beyonce is irrelevant.
And time.
Period.
Time. All right. Well, you certainly gave us a lot to think about there for that first question.
I'm like, damn.
My guys, I
were-
just want to say my heart rate is high as hell right now. I'm
Everyone,
going to
keep an
explode
eye on
by
your
the end of
pulse.
this.
Please keep an eye on your pulse.
My Apple Watch hasn't come in the mail yet, so I'm.
I feel like I need to back away from my mic because this is getting me heated. Okay.
And that's only question one.
And that's the only question one. Courtney, do
I'm
you have any
shaking.
thoughts?
I'm shaking.
All
Do you have any
right.
thoughts?
Y'all know who won, right? I just, I understand.
This
Must be.
I
Pretty
feel like that
easy
last
for you.
round was very like facts versus opinions.
Okay,
And-
Team Beyonce, Team Jay-Z, it is time for Courtney and I to deliberate.
We have to deliberate.
The more you talk,
Okay.
who knows who you're helping here. Okay, let's see.
Eric, all I know is I never assumed that we curated these questions, and I did not
Yeah.
expect a question about art to become a debate about
Right.
revenue.
It
But
really got
smart
out of it.
argument.
True. The money was a smart one to bring up. But you know what ended up happening? I think Team Jay-Z brought up the argument about money, and then Team Beyonce brought up numbers about money. Which I think may have backfired.
Material
But-
girl.
But then also, we have to think about, like, I don't know how much money even Destiny's Child was making. And then when Beyonce, her first song that came out, it really, I think the money factor probably was a little bit helped by Jay-Z. Like, the art was kind of, like, he produced
Right
that
at the beginning.
for her.
Because it's not who's making the most money now. It's
Yeah.
whose art
Who was it? Yeah.
influenced it to get to that point.
To get to that point.
And Kevin did make the point that, as it's been notoriously stated, we don't know if it's true, of that
Right.
Jay-Z is the reason why Beyonce left Destiny's Child. And we don't
I
know.
really,
There's no way we would know.
personally, okay, so I think I know where I'm gonna vote, and I
Do you want to put it? Do you want to put it in the chat just so we can see if we're going to say the same thing out loud?
Yeah.
Wait, can I add something really quickly?
No.
Only just because Eric just
No.
said something that was false. Eric said something was false. Jay-Z did
Well,
not.
you should have corrected me before. You should have given me the correct information.
Jay-Z did not produce Crazy in Love, her first song. He did not produce that. He's just a featured artist. She produced it, just her and the other producer in the room. So I just want that to be known that he's just a featured
Okay.
artist. He's
And a
not
writer,
credited
too,
as a
that was in
producer.
there.
He's not a producer on the record, so he didn't
Okay.
produce that record. I just want that to be
That
known.
that helps my brain. Thank you very much for telling me that. I think we have. I'm looking at the
think we
chat.
have
I think
our
we have.
answer.
I think we have our answer. Okay, so the winner for this first question, it's gonna have to be
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z. Only because I think
How
Beyonce
it's
has
gonna be the rest of the
changed
night, it's okay.
more. I think Beyonce has changed more from before they got together to now than Jay-Z has changed from before they got together to now. I think he's pretty much the same as he's been since forever. And
Which
she's
says way more
had a
about Beyonce
huge
than
shift.
Jay-Z. So it's
And does.
She used to be
I'm sorry.
bootylicious.
The bias came out. It's fair. We saw where the point went. All right.
Okay,
Are we ready to
moving
move
on.
on to question number 2? Eric, you want to present?
Sure thing.
And I'll time. And we're starting with Team Jay-Z. So
Yes.
about that.
Team Jay-Z, you are going to start this round. So the question for everyone is, who has the better alternative identity? Who has the better alternative identity?
Starting
And Team Jay-Z?
now.
Oh, this simple. It's simple. Well, what's higher than Hov? What's higher than Allah?
The God.
Hov, God MC, like, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't.
Sean Carter.
What?
Hey,
You know what I'm saying? That,
He
like,
got
I
tons of
respect.
big names. He can live it up, man.
Yeah. I would just be. What is Beyonce's nickname? She don't even have one. She has a like. You know what I'm saying? Like Jay-Z got like 6 different monikers. Like, come on, man. Like
Hey, her nickname is Sasha Fierce, and guess who brought that out?
yeah. Hey, who had that divider in the limousine? What she said? The partition.
Brought that out.
The partition.
The partition.
She said, "Let the partition up." Yeah.
All
Yes,
right,
sirski.
time. Moving on to Beyonce. Who has the better alternative identity starting now?
Horse,
I'll take it. I do just
Okay.
want to say I'm from California, so like this Hove business doesn't exist here. It's called the carpool lane, so I don't know what that means. I just want to throw that out there. So as far as global
funny.
impact, Beyonce, I Am Sasha Fierce, her alter ego, has her biggest record, Halo, on that album. So as far as global impact, and whose alternative identity or alter ego we could say, I would say Sasha Fierce was literally household news. She had an interview on Oprah about Sasha Fierce because it was such revolutionary ideas that she would have this alter ego, and that Beyonce was actually so complex and detailed and layered. And I also think more so than just Sasha Fierce, if you look at her work, the amount of
All right, I'm sorry. That was it. You'll be able to come back. You'll be able to come back. Team Jay-Z.
Chess, I'm sorry.
Okay,
I wanted
can we go to
Chess
time?
Feel
Can we-
sorry.
Okay, my dear.
You got the next
You'll
one.
have
You got the
another
next one.
moment.
Too, she mentioned that Jay-Z brought out the Sasha Fierce. So let's be real.
Can we
real.
talk
And
about
Team
relevance
Jay-Z,
of
you are
time?
going,
Okay, well, our time is going. Let's talk about how long Hove has been around versus the alter ego Sasha Fierce, which is like, it's what, 10 years? Like Hove has been Hove for like 25 years. Sasha Fierce, this moniker, this person, alias, this just came up. Like, you know, like Hove been Hove. Like Hove been Hove before I was born. Like, so we can't even, she just made that up. Like, come on, man. Like, what we doing over here?
Over been around. That's not longevity right there. He's had that nickname since the get go. He's been living.
Yeah, when Sasha Fierce lasts 20 years, holla at me.
All right, and that is time. We are going back one more time to Beyonce.
Well, if we actually want to talk about alternative identities, like the question supposed, let's also talk about the new bitch on the block, Miss Beyonce, okay? Sis
Period.
came out swinging when she dropped the self-titled album. Y'all gotta remember, we were all walking through the halls of our high schools and universities, and Beyonce showed up on the block, and we were all listening to that shit at 2 a.m., and it was at the top of the charts the next morning. Let alone, when Beyonce is not in a room, people are talking about her. So not only does she have Beyonce, Sasha Fierce, and Beyonce, when the bitch is invisible, she's ever present. They had to Photoshop her in. They had to Photoshop her into the Lion King photo because they needed her that bad, honey. There's not even a question of who has the better alternative ego. Every single one of them is top 10. What's up?
I want to add one more thing before time is over. The Audie was talking about how Hov has been around longer. That's all just because he's old and he groomed Beyonce. So like,
in your favorite
Wait,
artist
keep
like
it going.
old
This is
dudes.
both teams.
In your favorite artist likes old dudes.
Gap
So-
between
Hey,
the two,
Tita
like,
is old.
like,
Tita is hey. CZ about DZ, they all so
yes,
greasy.
he's been
Can't
around
leave
longer.
rap alone and gave me.
All right,
Like,
that's
come on,
it.
man.
Pause. Done.
Evergreen.
Question
Not
number
a contest.
2 is done.
He's a groomer.
Question number 2 is done. Oh my god.
Damn,
This is
I
another
actually
hard one.
going
Beyonce's
into this
a victim.
question. Oh my god! Going into this question, I actually thought that my bias was going to be too strong for me to actually be able to do this. But new
Yeah.
points on both sides are made that I didn't consider. One, Beyonce doesn't just have Sasha Fierce. Beyonce to me actually sticks out more than Sasha Fierce. Like that
has
feels
Sean
more present to me
Carter,
stronger. But then
Hova.
Jay-Z, I forgot that Hove.
I didn't
like,
even
it
know
didn't
that.
cross my
I
mind, but it's
forgot
so
that
true
Hove
because
was a thing, but it's very, very real.
so intertwined to who he is. People
Yeah.
call him both. Like not everybody knows that Beyonce goes by Sasha Fierce. That's
Yeah.
a good point. That like Jay-Z's identity is literally both.
Yeah,
Eric, last point. He performed
Hold on,
Izzo on the stage with Michael Jackson. He performed Izzo on the stage with Michael Jackson.
I can't hear you.
Michael Jackson, he performed H to the
I
Izzo
can't
on the
hear
stage
you.
with
Doesn't
Michael
exist.
Jackson. What are we doing
Take my
at the
earphone
MTV
out.
Movie
It's out.
Awards?
My earphone's out. I can't hear. I'm
All right, Eric and I are deliberating.
So we're deliberating. I think I have an idea of who I'm going to go with, and I'll explain why afterwards. Courtney,
do we have
you
to
agree?
pick the same on this one?
We can give half points if we need to. We can give half points if we need to.
Okay. I think I have my response too. Are you ready?
Okay, I have my response, and we'll see if our half points equal 1 point or if they equal half points. We'll see.
Okay.
So I am going to go with Beyonce, and I'll tell you why. Only because you said Hove, and I was like, is that an alternative identity or is that just his identity? I was like, I feel like it's not necessarily, I think it's just a nickname. Meanwhile, like Sasha Fierce and Beyonce she might as well be crazy because it feels like she is a different fucking person, and she said this shit out loud, right? It literally is just another human being. And for a Hove, it's like the same. It's the same. It's just a nickname. So that's why I'm going with, because it literally is an alternative identity, and I think they proved that in their comments. Go ahead, Courtney.
I would have to say Beyonce she's gonna get my point. But in the same way with the last question, I think the reason why someone is getting my point actually says more about the other person is because I think Jay-Z is also, he's merged both of his identities into one, which is an amazing quality that Beyonce is not evolved to, but nonetheless, because of that, her alternative identity is stronger. So, are we ready to move on to question 3 right now?
I think we're ready to move on to
Absolutely.
question
We are.
number 3. I think I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right. All right. Beyonce, you guys are starting first. You ready?
Great.
Okay. Whose fame has benefited more for their relationship?
From
Thank
their
you. I was like, why is that confusing? Thank
them
you.
being together, who is it helped more?
All right, and time starts now.
So not to get political and make it, but I do want to say that I think that Beyonce has allowed Jay-Z, Beyonce in her racial ambiguity has proximity to whiteness, and particularly with the I Am Sasha Fierce album, when we saw her get painted more white in ways that I wasn't really fucking with Beyonce at this point in time. I want to put that on the record that I didn't really fuck with her at this time, because she was really kind of cosplaying as a white woman. But that cosplay allowed Jay-Z to enter into spaces, with Deja Vu being the video, with all of these ideas of Beyonce being almost white passing in these certain ways,
She
and
also
Jay-Z
did
being
Beautiful
attached to
Liar
her.
with Shakira and gave that little,
Exactly.
that Creole
I think Jay-Z
energy was
benefited.
bringing it out, right? Mm-hmm.
Jay-Z was brought into higher spaces, more white spaces, and white people being the masses, and that being what defines the mainstream, while also then still resonating with black audiences. I think that Jay-Z benefited a little bit more. I will say Beyonce did benefit as far as she got street cred from him, but I think white mainstream sells more records than street cred.
All right, and that's time.
Ooh.
Jay-Z, whose fame has benefited more from their relationship?
All right, we're gonna start with this. Jay-Z did an entire album with Linkin Park. By the way, that Linkin Park album sold 10 million records, or 10 million sales.
Kevin is a
So,
big fan of Linkin Park.
Ew.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just
sorry,
saying, you
continue.
talking about crossover. We talking about
So-
crossover audiences.
Right. We talk about crossover audiences. He did it better with that by itself. Then you got, when Jay-Z and Beyonce met, Jay-Z already had more fame. So he told her, look, baby, your dad's cool, but we're going to need new management. We need new writers. We need better stage play. You need to be the Michael Jackson of artists these days. You're the new hotness. So he gave her, he went around and gave her everything.
She
that
used to be
needed
Bootylicious
become.
before Jay-Z. She was Bootylicious, right? That's what the song she was doing? Okay.
Just Bootylicious.
Yeah, I remember them.
Okay.
And all right, back to Team Beyonce.
Anything to say about that?
So disagree, because you gotta remember Beyonce was known globally. Period. Miss Thing.
Period.
Not only she was in the Pink Panther movie, she had Fighting Temptations out. Okay, 3 years after Crazy in Love was released, she was in Dreamgirls next to Titans in Hollywood. Miss Thing got with Jay-Z and leveled him up. When they released Bonnie and Clyde back in the day, Jay-Z put his little flavor on the song, but that was all Beyonce. Let alone, Jay-Z's career was about to die out before Crazy in Love dropped. Y'all gotta remember that. When Jay-Z got to the top of the pop charts, it was because of Crazy in Love. And let alone,
and also,
let's talk about, what's up?
Well, I was gonna say, as far as charts go, Jay-Z's first #1 record, the first thing he was ever #1 on was Mariah Carey Heartbreaker. He was a featured artist on Mariah Carey.
That's not true.
Beyonce got her first #1 on her fucking own with Destiny's
Wait, okay,
Child.
we have
Hard
to
Knock
pause
Life
here.
and
You
any
guys will
sample.
be able to come back. Jay-Z, it's your last time for a rebuttal, and then we'll be able to go back in together.
Go ahead. Oh, now I'll come in.
That was not true. The Andy sample, "Hard Knock Life," that was his first solo single that went #1. So
It
that
did
was
not
way,
go #1 on
he
the
did-
on
that
the
was
Hot
way-
100.
They're Googling right now.
And look, all those movies, all those movies though he just named flopped. Remember Carmen on MTV? Flopped. Straight. All the movies was
And
trash.
not only that,
What are we talking about?
all those movies came out from like 2003 to 2006. They started dating in 2002. By this time, he had already got with her and upgraded her. So
The movies was terrible.
Yeah.
That's all. When the last time anybody in this podcast watched any
All
of
right,
them?
and together, here we go.
Sorry.
And first of all, Dreamgirls was an Academy Award winning
15
award.
seconds.
Start there. Okay.
Also,
And
Hard Knock Life peaked at 15 on the billboards, not #1 by any
Exactly.
stretch of the fucking imagination.
Heartbreaker.
His first
All
album
of,
was
and
great.
first of all, let's talk about the fact that Beyonce's
right,
fame
and
really
that is
continues,
it, and that
continues
is
to
time.
influence
Question
Jay-Z's
number
relevance
3.
today.
Done.
Time.
All right.
Oh my god.
Eric, I'm gonna say the first thing that's about to come out of my mouth. I don't even remember what the question was. I think they just started fighting about who is better. What was?
Yeah, that's how almost all the questions are going to end. I've discovered. That's just what's going to end up happening.
Wait,
That's
like,
okay.
What was I?
That's okay. You know
what?
what?
The point I was looking for.
And that's what's up to us. You know what? That's why
That's
we get paid the big bucks to translate.
All right.
Okay.
So it seems what was saying. It seems like both teams were trying to fight more so rather than to say who benefited from having the relationship. Both teams were trying to say which person didn't need it at all. Who was more famous on their own?
Who was more famous on their own?
Which would
who didn't
prove that-
need to be? Yeah.
Except
I don't
forgot
know.
about my points.
No, Kevin, you're right. See, Kevin came with the facts.
Yeah.
Kevin said, "Don't mess with
He
me."
did come in with the facts. I don't know. This was a hard one because again, the movies were a good point. The Beyonce's movies did absolutely flop. So I think that point was except for Dreamgirls, that point really got muted by that. Carmen was hilarious. I watched it with my family. We all laughed. There was
I didn't even bring up Carmen because that was a mess.
It was a mess. Look, it was a mess. That was a good point from Team Jay-Z. They really just chopped y'all's knees out with that one, with the movies.
I could not tell you the plot of Carmen. I just want to put that out there. Don't know anything about it.
I've never heard of that in my life.
Exactly.
So it was a flop.
It was a
So
flop.
Eric, I think we need to. Sorry, continue.
And
No,
the fact
and
that
then
she
the same
didn't
thing-
need
and
it,
then
the
with
fact
the
that she
music.
didn't need it says more.
This is okay, our time. We're claiming our time.
Come on, Maxine. Come on, Maxine.
This is hard. This is a hard one.
This is my one thought. We can't.
Yeah.
I think you and I have to decide if we want to slightly alter the way we would phrase the question to give said point. Because I didn't think about this. Whose fame has benefited more from their relationship? That's going to be the person who has lesser fame. Whose fame
is
has
gonna
benefited
benefit
more because they got more famous because of the relationship, which is the weaker partner.
Yeah.
We don't want to give that team the point.
Well, they were trying to argue that the other person was the weaker partner, and they were brought up by their person. So I think the question works fine. It's just they muddied up their own arguments with a lot of crack-a-lack and bullshit. So I'm trying to figure out. Honestly, the music point helped me a lot. It helped me understand what they were trying to say. You know what? I think I have.
I'm typing.
I
I do
think I have who I'm going
too.
with. I think I have who I'm going with. You guys did a really good job on this one. It was very, very close. Damn.
Thank
Do
you.
I want to switch?
These answers are getting really misogynistic from Jay-Z's side, though. I want to put that out.
Okay.
feminist?
Attacks. Let's see. Okay, I have my person who I'm going with. I have my person. Courtney, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead. You can say yours first and I'll say mine.
All right. I think that I'm going to give my point to Jay-Z. And that is only because I, and this is my own personal thing, I'm thinking about it. I've heard many of people say that if it were not for Aaliyah dying in a car crash, Aaliyah would have been the one and only. She would have taken Beyonce's place. And I don't know if that's true. We'll never know. But I do wonder if Jay-Z as a producer came in and assisted in Beyonce, whereas Jay-Z, because he's pretty much stayed the same, and has pretty much gone behind the scenes. I think she was able to use their shared knowledge. She used it to her advantage, whereas Jay-Z just chilled. So I'm going to give the point to Jay-Z.
I am giving my point to Beyonce. So okay. I did not, this is, like, I ended up having to kind of use everything that everyone gave me, plus using my own personal experiences. My family is blackity black, black, black. And I did not know a damn thing about Jay-Z until I had to go through Beyonce to even be introduced to him. And which is not necessarily the through line for my whole family, but I'm sure I was listening to his music while I was a kid, and I just didn't think twice about it until I was like, oh, who's Beyonce dating? This man? Have I heard him before? So yeah, I think it just had to go through. I think I was introduced to him through her art, through her music. I think he became, and I think that's the case with a lot of people. He made more fame. He was more famous because of his relationship with them. But yeah, this was a hard one to go into break on. You guys are bringing your fucking A games, and I'm proud of you. We have to take a quick break for our sponsors, and then we are going to be right back. And after that, we're going to close ourselves out with 2 more delicious questions. All right. They're going to be the heavy hitter questions, by the way. So get fucking ready.
Go.
See y'all in a sec.
All right, and we are back for our final 2 questions. It's got hot and heavy in here, and it's only about to get hotter. And I'm ready to go.
This is going to be the emotional. These are the emotional questions, guys. These are the emotional questions. This is where we need to see your heart and soul. Okay, so I think, are we on Team Jay-Z right now, or are we on Team Beyonce? Who went first last time? Or who went last?
Beyonce went first.
I think Beyonce went first last time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Jay-Z goes first.
Team Jay-Z, we're starting off strong. Okay.
I know, I'm scared.
The question for everyone is, whose music has had the most cultural significance? Team Jay-Z, you get to start.
The Blueprint, 1, 2, 3. I mean, everything about it. Like Adi already said, I mean, he influenced Lil Wayne, who signed Drake, who signed so many other artists. I mean, everybody talks about how Jay-Z.
What's the biggest job? No, I got you, Kevin. Look, let's make it this simple. The impact that Beyonce had to R&B versus the impact that Jay-Z had versus hip hop. It's quite simple what Jay-Z has done for hip hop versus what Beyonce has done for R&B. You already said Aaliyah was one. It's so many other R&Bs, SWV. It's so many different R&B.
Rihanna.
Like Rihanna. It's so many other women that have contributed, but like not nobody's done what Jay-Z has done for hip hop. Like he created the mogul. There wouldn't be a mogul rapper without Jay-Z. There's no mogul R&B artist. Like that's not even a thing. Like
all right, time Beyonce.
Okay.
Beyonce team. Who was more cultural significance?
Horace, let me take this real quick.
Okay, go.
While Jay-Z has merit in the rap game, Beyonce has been culturally significant in hip hop, pop, R&B, country, global tunes, smooth jazz, musical theater. Musical theater. She does it all. She does it all, okay? Period. When people in a crowd sing a Beyonce song, it is like you are in church. You can go anywhere in the world, sing you a Halo, sing you an Irreplaceable, and Beyonce has an impact on the culture everywhere, period. That's not even a question.
And I do just want to jump in really quickly because you mentioned R&B, but Beyonce is a pop star. And what Beyonce did with the self-titled albums is she changed the entire music industry. The release date for music was Tuesday before she surprise dropped it on Friday. And now every single artist in the industry drops their music on Friday because of Beyonce. She single-handedly did that. That is the cultural impact. That is a fact. If you look it up, Beyonce is the first.
All right, bringing it back to Jay-Z.
Okay,
solid.
Just to go against those 2 points, let's be real. Kanye wanted to do both those: the self-titled album, the video album, changing the date from Tuesday to Friday. They all told him.
But did he do it?
Okay. So she got.
You can want to do whatever you want to do, but did he actually do it? Is the question.
Now, when it comes to like the influence,
we not even mentioning Kanye. Oh my goodness, the impact of music. Like he birthed Kanye. What are we doing? Who did Beyonce birth? Like, who did she sign? Does Beyonce even have a record label? What are we talking about? What artist is
Beyonce have a record label?
Kanye is one of the top 5 greatest producers of all time, and he
got
his name off of.
We haven't mentioned Tidal this whole podcast.
And Tidal, yeah. Oh my, yeah. Like they're all signed to Tidal, by the way, which Jay-Z owns and bought.
All right, and back to Team Beyonce.
So I don't want this by any means to not say that Jay-Z is not a wildly accomplished entrepreneur, right? But the question was about music, was about whose music has impacted the culture, right? And so Beyonce's
music allowed that to happen.
As I'll finish, I'm going to reclaim my time. Thank you. So Beyonce's music has impacted the world in a greater way than Jay-Z. Then I think, and not to say Jay-Z hasn't. I think Jay-Z is a wildly talented person, but I think Jay-Z knows his strengths. And someone brought up earlier, Jay-Z's an amazing songwriter. Beyonce is a fantastic multitasker. I want to see Jay-Z get on fucking stage and dance and choreograph. Beyonce can do all of these things, but still through the center of music. Jay-Z has stepped away from his music, knowing that he's
all right,
not
both
going to compete with young kids as an artist.
And mind you, let alone Jay-Z has never and will never have a Beachella. Let's start there. Jay-Z has never and will never have a Beachella. And also the visual album, Beyonce has released 2 dope visuals.
All right, that's it. That's it for dual time. You gotta jump in there. You gotta jump in there. You gotta stay strong. But I have to say, if somebody made me do this, I'd fucking fight someone, or I'd be screaming. My voice would be
I'd be screaming. I would just be trying to be louder. I would be like, well, just gotta be louder.
I would just start making sounds. If I'm not speaking, no one.
If I don't get it, if I don't have a thought, if there's nothing in my brain, I'm just gonna be making noise
Eric,
as loud as I can.
We should play this game together once. All right.
We should one day. This was
music. Look, I almost said Jay-Z. Because I do think, although so many artists say that they have been influenced by Beyonce, same with Jay-Z, and ultimately the amount of people's songs that have been produced by Jay-Z and the amount of people who literally got their start because of Jay-Z is just astronomically large and could never be compared to Beyonce. But I don't remember who it was, but someone said, remember, it's about the music. It's not about the writing. It's not about the producing. I said that. Okay, thank you, Morris. I said that.
You're welcome.
It is about whose music. And we wrote this question, and I didn't even think about that. Whose music, just period, whose music has had the most. And
Jeff can you? Jay-Z.
So I'm sitting here, and I'm like.
That's kind of where my head went too, because I was like, you know what? If we're thinking about the music itself, like literally songs, records, tracks, it's one thing. But then if we're thinking about whose music, as in like their music legacy, as in like the things that they are, like the music that they are involved with, that feels like a different thing. But then at this point, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to be like super prescriptive with the question, or let the question have a little bit of latitude. So, but you know what? I think I know what I'm gonna do. Courtney, do you have an idea of what you're gonna do?
Yeah, I do. You want to go first?
Sure. Okay. So, bitch, it's my question. So I'm going with my question. The question was whose music, And the answer that I'm
Okay.
gonna have to go with, Beyonce really like the music, the genres, bitch, the genres that took me out.
The genres
You
took
said-
me out.
You literally said smooth jazz, and I was like, it's over. It's fucking over.
Okay. When she hit us with Atlas, that Atlas rendition by Etta
Really?
James, baby,
I was like gospel,
baby.
musical theater, Broadway.
Okay, Say Yes with Michelle Williams and Kelly
y'all
rolling the
are too
gospel
young-
track.
Y'all are too young to remember this, but Jay-Z literally destroyed autotune with one song.
But also, I do.
Yeah, but that was-
career was over.
And not to
Yeah.
debate, but I just want to throw this out there because the audience is saying, who has Beyonce birthed? Beyonce, he said, who has Beyonce birthed? Adele.
She does have a record label.
When Adele was accepting her Album of the
Black
Year
women.
award, she said,
Chloe and Haley.
Chloe and Halle, period.
but
She has a record.
Adele.
She has a record label.
But mind you, Adele on stage accepting the Grammy said the artist of my life is Beyonce. I
She
got
did.
home and she gave her Grammy to Beyonce. So when you want
That's
to talk about
true.
who birthed Adele is the biggest shit in the fucking world. Who can come out
Hey
of time
Eric,
from
I'm gonna
70
kill him
to
with this
time.
one. I'm gonna kill him with this one. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That's music, right?
Didn't she get inducted to that? Is she in that yet?
Now,
I don't think
Anyways,
so.
Eric
I don't
voted.
think so.
Courtney-
Oh,
I
well,
don't think
okay,
so.
let's save that and bring this
I don't
into
think
the
so.
next question finally. And
Yeah.
we're starting
Wait,
with
Courtney,
Team
who's yours?
Jay-Z.
Wait,
Yeah.
Courtney.
Oh,
who's
I'm
your
sorry.
point?
It's also Beyonce. It is also
She said-
Beyonce.
oh, sorry. By the way,
It's Beyonce.
BT
I thought my
dubs.
reaction was obvious. All right, but Team Jay-Z, bring that thought in where you guys are going right now because we are starting with this last and final question. Which artist will reach legend status first if they haven't already? Starting now, Jay-Z, team go.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He already did. Like the last question we got screwed out of is like, who had bigger impact in music? But then the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, isn't that about music? Like he already made, like he's a legend already. Beyonce is trying to get to the
Living
status that he
Hey,
is.
sold
like-
out the Brooklyn Arena 6 shows when they first opened, back to back to back every night. He sold it out himself in New York. This man is clearly a living legend with everything he does. He's taken rap to an area that people could never even understand. Like he made people realize it can't just be about music; it has to be about business.
But
Because as a black
beyond that,
person-
Kevin, the biggest genre in music right now is rap.
Yeah.
Period. Rap is pop now. Rap is number one, and Jay-Z took rap to the next level.
I mean,
Like, that's what it
honestly-
is.
All right,
Pop
moving
is
on to
rap.
Team
I
Jay-Z,
read
but
an
great
article.
point. Or sorry, Team
okay,
Beyonce.
So I do think that is a huge point, and part of who ushered that into rap becoming pop is also Beyonce. And I just want to look at because of 7-Eleven. If you look at a lot of her records, she was one of the biggest women spitting at like the pop level. And also, I just want to talk about how the fact that Beyonce is the most Grammy-nominated female artist.
Award-winning.
Like
award-winning
so when you
female
so like
artist.
and I just want to say because I want it to be very known that I think Jay-Z and Beyonce are both already legends. They both are fantastic in their own right. They are truly a power couple. But I think Beyonce, if you look at every single pop star girl who's touring right now, all of them have traces of Beyonce's live show because no matter who. If you look at Beyonce, no matter who sees Beyonce live, they say that is the best show I've ever seen. And
All
every
right, and
other
I'm sorry,
artist-
we have to move on to Team Jay-Z. Team Jay-Z, your second rebuttal starting now.
when everybody talks about who their favorite influence is in the rap game, they all say the GOAT. And nobody questions who the GOAT is. They all know it's Jay-Z. They just, oh yeah, the GOAT. Like Jay-Z literally.
I don't hear these new
for
pop
all.
women. Billie Eilish, I never heard her say Beyonce. Like all these other little women that y'all, they not even speaking on Beyonce. Like they don't. Jay-Z is the one. Like Jay-Z is the one that
When has
no
Billie
one can
Eilish
go
talked
against.
about Jay-Z?
I'm saying that she can't. I'm saying that Beyonce, she's not influenced by Beyonce. Like there's so many new pop artists that are not influenced by Beyonce, but everybody is influenced by Hov. Like he started the Jets. He said I don't land at the airport. I land at the Clearport. He started Jets. There was rappers weren't doing Jets. Like what is Beyonce influence?
Final rebuttal for Beyonce.
All I want to say is you could go to any club right now. Everybody knows Beyonce's rap on Savage. Ain't nobody rapping Jay-Z at the fucking club.
If you go to any
Period.
club, they
So
got
let's
Ace of
talk- but let's-
Spades. Ace of Spades in the
Beyonce.
club.
Beyonce.
Ace of Spades in the
I'm
club.
reclaiming my time. Add that to the
Thank you,
leaderboard.
Maxine.
The second thing is, let's talk about who's a legend. I think they're both living legends, but if we want to bring it down to the numbers, y'all, we gotta talk facts. Jay-Z has been nominated for 6,000 awards and has only won 251. Beyonce has been nominated for about 1,300 and has won double the amount. She's won 554 awards, so she's clearing him in a 2-to-1, 3-to-1 ratio. Period. Jay-Z has released 13 studio albums. Beyonce has only released 6 and is clearing this man in awards. She is the tied for second the most Grammy award-winning artist of all time, next to Quincy Jones, and is only 3 Grammys away from that number 1 spot.
And I was gonna say, I think it's interesting that the
Jay-Z and Beyonce go.
Beyonce fans have had much more respect for Jay-Z than Jay-Z's fans have had for Beyonce, and I think that speaks to the legendary status of Beyonce, where I can say she is fantastic.
5 seconds left.
That doesn't negate
Hits TikTok when I dance. On that demon time, she might start an OnlyFans. Big B, and that B stands for baby.
All right, and that's it. And that's it.
I said
Time.
left cheek, right cheek, pop below this man. Put you up on the stage. Chest up in this
resorting to pure lyrics.
Gang,
No argument, just
lyrics. He said 5 seconds left. All right.
Done. How many people listening to this podcast are going to be rapping along with me?
Left
all
cheek,
of them.
right cheek,
all of them.
dropping on then swang. Look, truly. Truly.
All right, Eric, what I want to say is, because that made my heart soar. I feel inspired. I felt
do
the
feel
love
inspired.
in this room for these artists.
Wow. I really do feel like Jay-Z and Beyonce are the luckiest people in the world.
And the fact that they have each other
the
is
luckiest people in the world. Their fans will literally die for them.
would jump off cliffs. Okay, the question was, to reiterate,
Yeah.
which artist will reach legend status first?
If they haven't already.
And for me, it's if we're going with the question, the verbiage of the question,
Right.
which one reached first is undeniable, in my opinion. So I have my vote.
I have my vote, I think, as well. It's hard because I am thinking of the question again. I'm being like very conservative Supreme Court judge, where I am like,
right.
The question is not living. It's not a living question. It does not. It does not like change. It is the question is the question.
The question.
So
is
it's
the question.
assuming that they are not, and assuming that which one will in the future. It happened first. And that's what is difficult for me. Like taking what they have and thinking about who's going to go further.
But it says if they haven't already. So we're not pretending that
True.
they haven't. It's if they haven't. And if they both have, or if only one of them have, we should consider that as fact. Because we said if they haven't.
Well, for a question on another question that we were talking about earlier, right? Mm-hmm. We all agreed that Jay-Z had a 12-year head start on Beyonce in the industry. So if we're talking about who reached it first, by literally like demographic data, of course, if we're talking, and we both agree that they're both legends, right? Somebody's been in the game about a decade longer than you have. There's not a discussion there.
Oh wait, we're listening in. We're letting him.
No.
That's all I'm
Chess,
saying.
I'm gonna let you have that moment. Team Jay-Z, would you like 15 seconds to respond uninterrupted?
15 seconds.
Or are you resting your case?
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. What else we have to say?
Come on.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. What else we have to say?
I just said what I said, you know?
Yeah, Beyonce gave their closing argument and they rested their case. Jay-Z is Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, your rested case argument.
The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the well-considered GOAT, this man influenced an entire culture to think differently about rap, that it's more than just music, it's all about business too. You can't just let music sway everything.
Dr. Dre was here before Jay-Z. Dr. Dre was many more businesses than Jay-Z did in his movie.
Okay, Beyonce has rested their case.
Don't discredit Jay-Z.
Beyonce has rested their case. Beyonce rested the case, and then I think Jay-Z has rested their case. I think I know who I'm going with.
All right, do we want to say it at the same time?
No. And don't. And don't.
Fine, you're going
Courtney,
first.
you go first. No,
you go first. No.
Screaming.
No.
You.
At the same time, or you go first.
Literally not do this. Okay. Ooh, this is hard as fuck. Okay. I think
Impressed.
that I, for this question, am going to go with Jay-Z.
Oh!
I hate that the question, if they haven't already, you know, that really fucked me up. Because I honestly do think that if we take what they've done now and if we say they are not, like, neither of them are legends yet, but which one will be a legend? If we said that, I think people are starting to compare in the past, like, 5 years, Beyonce to Michael fucking Jackson.
Yep.
And I just, like, that is just something I just don't hear with Jay-Z. But if we are talking about what they have done so far, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, man. Fucking Lil Wayne and all of the people that he just created more people. He's not just
Kanye.
influenced more people. Kanye, he's like created more people who have then gone on to create more people. So I think that is where my half point is gonna lie.
I
Beyonce.
I
whatever.
agree. I thoroughly,
Really?
I fully agree. I think everything that you just said is true. If we have phrased the question differently, it would have been Beyonce. But I found that to be true with a lot of these questions, and I've also found it to be true that I'll never.
then doesn't that mean that it would have never? There was never a chance.
Well, no, not necessarily. Beyonce's done a lot up to this point. Beyonce has influenced and brought up a lot of people up to this point.
She's had two careers at this point.
She's had 2 full careers, and I think she's influenced a ton of people. For me, it came down to influencing versus creating. And I was like, I can only think of like 2 people that she's created, and that's Chloe and Halle. And I can think of a lot of people that, like, literally bread. But those are all of the questions we have, and it's a quick tally for this game, guys, and for this
I think
episode.
it's very close too.
So I would like to just say, you guys both did an incredible job. Both teams did an incredible job arguing their points. I hope you guys aren't about to go into cardiac arrest.
Oh shit!
And while I do a little drum roll for the first winning team of season fucking 2, baby. Can I get a quick drum roll, Courtney? A quick drum roll.
Wait.
Okay, you're being weird.
This is-
Okay, that's
I
enough.
don't like- how do I get
enough,
a drum-
Courtney. Enough. The winner for this episode was